All right, let's dig in. All right, welcome to our January 2025 sales meeting. Getting started a little bit late, but we have lots of great content scheduled for you guys today. Uh, and we'll do a quick overview of year-over-year numbers and exactly where we ended up year to date. As always, knowledge is not power, execution is power. So since you're investing time with us for the next 50 minutes or so, it's really important to have a pen and paper out, especially today, because we're going to be covering some items as the new year starts. It's really important to kind of double down, go through all the resources that you have access to, and figure out what resources you can better use in 2025, what resources you're no longer going to use in 2025. This is the time of year where things are maybe a little bit slower, at least in our New England markets, and time to double down. So we're going to go through a bunch of resources for you guys to be utilizing in your business for 2025. So make sure you have a pen and paper. So first, let's take a look at our new and returning agents. First of all, I just want to say, like, the last 45 days or so have been really awesome because we've welcomed back a lot of agents that wanted to go explore other options and other brokerages. And I want to say there's been like 5 or 6, and there's a couple more that are still coming back to LAER. And it makes me so excited because, as you know, when agents sometimes want to go out and explore their options, we always say we wish you well. But we're happy to report that when many agents go review what the options are, they decide that LAER is truly where their home is. And it makes us really proud, makes me really proud. I know that a lot of it has to do with the tools and resources, but more so, I think it's the community of you guys, you, the real estate agents, and they like having or being part of that community. So want to say a welcome, first of all, to Dylan Labrie, who recently joined our Hallowell office, Carolyn Glynn from our Plymouth, Mass office, Kimberly Bagney, welcome back to Northborough. Jennifer Kern Rizzo, who just joined our Plymouth office, Carol Norton, rejoining our Athol office, and Richard Jean joining our Southeastern office. Also, a very big welcome goes out to our new team in Lancaster, Massachusetts. So very excited that LAER is expanding into Lancaster. And many of you guys know these faces. If you've worked in the Westford, Athol, Leominster office, many of you will recognize lots of these names in real estate agents. Very excited to welcome the entire team of Aberman Associates. So welcome to Paula, Tracy, Anna Mary, Lynn, Gail, Tara, Michelle, and Jean. Super excited to have you guys as part of the LAER family. And this will add another location in Lancaster, Mass for our agents. Many of you are aware the Lancaster, I have a photo later on in the program, but the Lancaster office that Paula and Gail built is just the cutest little red barn. It's like everybody knows the building, and we're super excited to have that building as part of our LAER portfolio. We're going to be doing a little bit of rehab to the inside of that building over the next 3 months. And then by spring, we're hoping to have a grand opening for that location. So our year-end numbers, by the way, this is not finalized because this year our sales meeting is so early in the month because January 1st landed on a Wednesday. Our sales meeting is on the 7th. Sometimes, actually almost always, we don't have a super accurate reporting of everything until around the 10th, 11th, 12th of the month, because we pull our numbers from you guys doing check requests. And sometimes those checks take a while to get to an office where an attorney or a title company mails in a check or a co-broke mails in a check. These are pretty accurate, but we could be missing a couple of closings here. So year end, our numbers came in at 2,853 closings at 1.46 billion in volume, plus 447 rentals. This number makes me super excited. The reason we were late for logging in is, believe it or not, our last year total for 2023, last year we did 2,854 transactions, which does not seem possible that we did the exact same number of transactions. So, but it looks like we are within one transaction of what we did last year. Anyways, we're still working on finalizing all the numbers, but year over year, we basically did about the same amount of business this year as we did last year. That makes us one of a very few real estate brokerages out there. Most brokerages went down in volume. However, there's a caveat to that. We continue to grow. So in other words, we did the same amount of business with a lot more real estate agents this year. So, but either way, we're super excited, and we're super excited for 2025. Our December numbers, we did 269 closings and 35 rentals. That's $147 million in volume for December. Here's a breakdown based on where the offices are located. So this is never completely accurate, except Florida is pretty accurate. But Massachusetts agents do business everywhere. Specifically, they do a lot of business in New Hampshire. So the way this is broken down is where the agent is based. So our Mass agents did about 212 sales at 124 million. Our agents who are based out of New Hampshire offices did 17 sales at 8.6 million, Maine 15 sales at 4.6 million, and our Florida agents did 25 sales at 9.4 million in volume for the month. These are our top agents. By the way, we're working, once we finalize all the numbers and get the last few transactions of December closed out as those commission checks come in, we'll send out top 100 lists for just so you guys have an idea where you stacked up for the entire year. These numbers, what we're looking at right now, are for December. So congratulations, top 5 Massachusetts teams by volume: O'Connell and Company, followed by Page and Company, Button and Company, Silver Key Homes, and Kennard Residential Group. Next, we have top 5 agents by volume. Congratulations to Susan Tebow, Rosemary Kelleher, Wendy Thomas, Matt Kelly, Eric Saborik-Pon. Next, we have top 5 teams by units for Massachusetts offices: O'Connell and Company, Silver Key Homes, Page and Company, Button and Company, and the Nido team. Top 5 individual agents by units for December: Susan Tebow, Audrey Martinez, Rosemary Kelleher, Matt Kelly, and Saborik Eric-Pon. Top 5 agents and teams by volume for New Hampshire, and this is going to end up being the same for units as well. Platinum Realty Group, this is New Hampshire offices: Platinum Realty Group, the Fulford Group, Casey Leach, Sarah Tollefson, and the Newman Group. And same New Hampshire top 5 by units for agents and teams for New Hampshire offices: Platinum Realty Group, the Fulford Group, Casey Leach, Sarah Tollefson, and the Newman Group. Next, we have our top 5 agents and teams by volume for Maine. Congratulations to Julie Peacock, Dina Bean, Sarah Cottonware, John Edmonston, and Madison Chapman. And then top 5 main agents by units closed. Julie Peacock, followed by John Bluen, Dina Bean, Sarah Cotnoyer, and John Edmonston. And let's take a look at our Florida offices. Top 10 Florida agents and teams by volume. Number 1, the Show Me Florida team, followed by Cecilia Butel, John Slavon, James Lamongi, Tanya Bach, Christina Bear, Tanya McClendon, Giswaldo team, Beth Grady, and Anita Fowler. And then top 10 Florida agents and teams by units. Again, the Show Me Florida team, followed by Paquita Lisa Roger, John Slavon, Christina Bear, Roberto Ferrer, Cecilia Butel, James Lamongi, Tanya Bach, Tanya McClendon, and the Giswaldo team. So all of these do get emailed through our LAER blog. Sometime today, you'll receive an email with all the top agents. So we have top 25 company-wide by volume and by units, as well as all the specialty top rated agents for each of the marketplaces. So if your name is on any of these, make sure you click on that email when it comes through, because our marketing team puts together some great social media pieces that you can share on your social media to do a humble brag about the amazing December year end that you had for your business. So, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, this is why we were so slow to get on our call today, because we were questioning our numbers. Our December numbers, we did more sides and more volume this year. So our December of 2024 was much busier than 2023. We did 269 sides at 147 million. And as compared to 2023, where we did 198 closings at 101 million. And so what our bookkeeping software is telling us is that we did 2,853 closings in 2024, and that in 2023, we did 2,854 closings. Like, our numbers are pretty much exact. We did slightly higher volume, 1.467 billion, as compared to 1.41 billion in 2023. So that's something to be super excited about. And again, we haven't finalized the 2024 numbers just yet, because we're waiting for those final closings to come in. As I mentioned at the last two meetings, NAR Chief Economist Lawrence Yun is forecasting a 9% increase in home sales for 2025. And again, another 13% increase in home sales for 2026. That is nationwide. But his predictions are based on the fact that mortgage rates will begin to stabilize somewhere around 6%. And that will loosen up some of the inventory, especially in the Northeast, that has been one of the reasons why business has been off for the last year or so. So a couple things I want to go over. First of all, I want to spend some time talking today about really taking a look at the resources that you have at your fingertips. January is the best time to do this, because you will blink, and then all of a sudden it's going to be March and it's going to get busy. So you have a little bit of slow time right now. It's a wonderful opportunity to really assess, like, what are the top 10 tools you used for your business in 2024, and what are the tools, what do you want your tool package to look like in 2025? Because what I want you to think about is, if you were to just harness one extra resource that you didn't use in 2024, how different might your business look in 2025? So First of all, I have 9 resources that I'll share with you in a moment that are not LAER resources. But first, I want to go through just a couple of resources that um, that every agent at LAER should be using. And by the way, all of our resources are at laeragentservices.com. So if you have not been to LAER Agent Services in a while, all of the resources you need are right here. I'm going to just list 5 or 6 of them that I think you should be utilizing, or at least going back and re-evaluating to make sure that you're getting the most out of all the resources that you have at no cost within the brokerage. So before I go into LAER Agent Services, the number one resource I want to stress is Happy Agent. So one of the things, in case you've been here for a long time, when we onboard new agents that come into the brokerage, we have an onboarding team and onboarding system where one of the pieces that we really try to stress to agents coming into the brokerage is that if you need anything, email happyagent@laerrealty.com. This is a reminder for all of our agents. So whether you've been here for 10 years or 6 months, if you need anything, we have about 50 staff members spread out across the organization, and they're here to assist you. But if you're emailing them directly, it's too easy for your email to get missed. The Happy Agent email goes into a back-end portal for our staff, and it creates super high accountability for all of the staff, including me. So sometimes I'll receive an email direct from an agent. First of all, there's a chance I miss it. If you email me direct or any of our staff direct, there is a chance the email will be missed. Why? Because it's email. There's so much spam and junk email that comes in a day. It's really difficult for anybody to go through all of those emails, hundreds and hundreds, to make sure that a response is going out. Not only that, we don't want you to email staff directly because they could be out sick, which means you're not going to get an answer. They could be on vacation, which means you're not going to get an answer. Now, that doesn't mean you can't work with a particular staff member. Anytime you email into Happy Agent, here's what happens. You email Happy Agent and say, I need help with this. It could be a deal issue. It could be, I need help writing up an offer. I need help finding an addendum. I need help understanding a form. Anything you don't need to know who you need help from. So you could just email in a blind request, or you could say, hey, I need help from Vanny. If Vanny could reach back to me. The cool thing about all the requests coming through the Happy Agent system is it's not possible to get lost. You're not going to get lost because it's not a regular email box. When the request comes in, it gets assigned to the staff member who, either the staff member you asked for or the staff member who is best suited to answer your question quickly and knowledgeably. So that is why we stress so heavily, not because I don't want to receive your emails. I don't say to agents, hey, don't email me, email Happy Agent if you want to talk to me. That is not because I don't want to talk to you. It is because I do want to talk to you. I do want to get your question answered. And I am so afraid that if you email me directly, there is just a chance that your email will be missed. And that is true for me as well as any staff. So email into Happy Agent at laerrealty.com, and you've got an entire team that is available for you. So Happy Agent always. Number 2, LAER Agent Services. There is so much content on here. Please, if you have not gone on here in, say, 3 months, it's time to go it's time to go reevaluate again. So we have number one, you're going to use Happy Agent. Number two is LAER Agent Services. By the way, we keep adding new stuff here all the time. So for example, if you go under to the guides, presentations, and brochures, we recently added an expired listing package because many of you are now calling on expired listings. So we have a great booklet that you can create. It's already created for you through Canva. So you can add to it, personalize it. But if you're calling on expired listings, here's where to go. We also have a lot of agents trying to convert renters into owners. So our team recently created this wonderful little piece that just shows the consumer the cost of renting over many years. Again, all of it is meant for you to go in and customize. If you're not familiar with Canva, jump on one of our tool calls. Our team is constantly teaching Canva, but I want to stress Canva is for laymen. It is so intuitive. It is so easy to use. So please go in here. This is the perfect time of year to go into LAER Agent Services and make yourself one or two new pieces. If you get stuck or you don't know how to do something, email happyagent@laerrealty.com and we are happy to assist. Number three resource I want to make sure you guys are considering is under agent business or agent growth and development at LAER Agent Services. We have all kinds of business planning tools. So if you click on business plans and growth systems, you'll find three different types of business planning materials. Number one is Algorithm. If you need a sense of direction going into 2025, there's no better place to find a sense of direction than the Algorithm system. It is built off of the checklist manifesto, and basically it's 7 simple checklists to grow your business. So easy, so intuitive. You can download the entire booklet and just start working each day at building your business based on the Algorithm system. Number two, there's also a business planning guide. If you don't need a system, you already have one, and you just want to make little tweaks into your already successful business, then pull out the LAER business plan. This is a 45-page business plan, and this is typical of what you would see of a real estate business plan in general. That is an awesome tool, by the way, for like teams. If you have a team, do a team meeting where everybody prints out their 45-page agent business plan and you get lunch, and as a group, you do the business plan together. The third is called a simple plan. This is also a real estate business plan, but this one's a little bit different. If you did $2 million in sales volume last year, I can tell you what you're going to do for business this year. Probably. The probability state that if you did $2 million in sales volume last year, you're going to do $2 million or maybe up to 2.2 or as low as 1.8 million in business this year. That is what the probabilities say, is that you will stay. Once you get comfortable in the business, you will stay at a specific pace. A simple business plan says, hey, what happens if you're not happy at your $2 million in sales volume? What happens if you want to do $20 million in sales volume? You want to go from 2 million to 20 million. If you want to have a massive change in your business in that capacity, you have to become a different version of you. So a simple plan really analyzes who you are as a human being now and who you need to become. It's all you. It's just a different version of you. And it makes you think about your goals and backtrack and then work backwards. Okay, this is who I am today. And then it makes you build an avatar of what would the person who does $20 million, your version of you, look like if you were doing $20 million, and then work backwards on how to build up to become that avatar. So want to make sure you guys are exploring the 3 different options we have for business planning tools. Next, want to go back up for a moment, right on here, the LAER Program and Services Guide. When we recruit real estate agents to LAER, our recruiting presentation is all these tools. By the way, you can go to laerrealty.com/success tools, download the success guide right at the very bottom. It says download a PDF version of it here and print it out. It's a 40-page guide of all the resources available at LAER. So many of you guys came on board in the last year because you loved all the tools, training, and technology. And then you got here and you got super busy and you never really explored all the tools and systems that you had access to. So that's number 4, go pull that LAER program guide and start going through it. Pick 1 or 2 resources that you're going to dig into for 2025. The next piece, I think I'm on 5. Yeah. Let's see. I had Happy Agent, LAER Agent Services, the Algorithm and Business Planning Tools, the LAER Program Guide. I want to make sure for number 5 that everybody knows these are available. But some of the tools that we offer, and we're going to be expanding this a little bit. We just hired a new team member to really focus on websites, both our company website, which is going to get a full makeover over the next 6 months, but also the ability to better help real estate agents have nicer LAER websites. So if you go to laerrealty.com/briefings, this is just a reminder that you can get one-on-one support, like 30 or 60-minute calls with a team member if you need help with something very specific. Maybe you want help with your social media. Maybe you want help using one of the LAER tools and you want to better understand it and the classes don't cut it for you, that you just need one-on-one support, that somebody's going to do a Zoom session and walk you through everything. That's laerrealty.com/briefings. So get the one-on-one support that you need. Number 6, in case you haven't been there in a while, if you go to laeragentservices.com, highly recommend, if you have not been in, I'd say 6 months, to one of our boot camps. On the first Friday of every month, we do a boot camp. And you can go under classes, meetings, and coaching. And if you click on the LAER boot camp, you can subscribe to the next one. It's always on the first Friday of the month. Or if you want to watch at your own pace, go to our youtube.com/LAER training and watch last month's version of the boot camp. It's 3 hours long. It is a deep dive into every tool, training, technology that we have. The last one that I want to focus on is making sure you guys are utilizing the social media assistant. So every Monday, every agent at LAER should be receiving an email and a text message of all of your social media pieces for the week. So by the way, we do put them at LAER Agent Services. So if you wanted to go back and pull any, you can go to the weekly social media assistant to do that. But you should be receiving a text anyways with all of your social media pieces Sergio, that link is broke for the weekly social media assistant. If you're not receiving a text or an email on every Monday, please email happyagent@laerrealty.com. You should be receiving all of your social media pieces. If you're not receiving the text or the email into Happy Agent and let us know. And will let us know which one is not working, the text or the email, and we could run some tests on it for you. So those are the LAER tools. I also want to quickly go through a quick recap of 9 cool other tools. These are not LAER tools. These are just other businesses that offer really awesome stuff for you to be utilizing in your business. So marketing branding, and technology. 9 cool businesses that will change your business. Number one, if you're not using it, I'm a huge fan, MLSmailings.com. This is sending just listed, just sold postcards to your entire, to like, if you just list a property and you want to send a postcard to 200 people within the market area, as soon as you list it and as soon as you sell it, this is the product to use. What makes their product a little bit different is it's automated. It pulls right from MLS. So it hooks up to your MLS. It does email you a reminder the day before the mailer is going to go out, just in case you want to cancel the mailer or change the mailer, you can. But it's super inexpensive, in my opinion. For $100, you can canvas a whole neighborhood every time you get a new listing, and then $100 to re-canvas it again once you sell the property. Number two, this is a game changer. The Personal Marketing Company, TPMCO. For $48, a one-time charge, they send 21 mailings over 5 years to your client base. This one is so important. And by the way, all the mailers are a little bit different. So some of the mailers are postcards, some are magazines, etc. The reason this is so important is because of this little stat. 89% of buyers said that they would use the same real estate agent again. This is a National Association of Realtors statistic. 89% of buyers after a closing say they would use the same real estate agent again. However, only 11% of homeowners actually do. Is that because whose fault is that? Usually it's our fault because we're not staying in touch. We're on to the next transaction and not properly following up with the person who just closed. So this is 21 high impact mailings over 5 years, just an automated print marketing follow-up campaign. Number three, Wise Pelican. Wise Pelican is a print mailing company. I've been working with with Wise Pelican to develop LAER, beautiful print marketing pieces. So if you go to wisepelican.com, they have brochures, they have door knockers, they have mailers, and all you do over on the right-hand side, it says, what company do you work for? And it used to be like just the Remaxes, the Coldwell Bankers, the huge companies. I love their mailings. So I went out to them and I said, I want LAER to be on that list. So now LAER Realty is one of the companies in the drop down, and there's a million different postcards to choose from. They also have marketing for like free CMA. You can load, if you get a new listing, for example, there's a little button that you could just load all the info from MLS, so you don't have to like play around with loading photos or anything like that. It also has a little scan system for free instant home valuation and a lead capture system. Really cool stuff. Next, for RSP USA, these are also home value postcards. This is a CMA marketing, like to get a CMA. What I love about them is for basically $1 each, you could send a postcard to a person, or if you want to send 200, you could, for $200 roughly, send 200, get a free valuation. When the consumer scans it, the lead ends up going to you. So it has a built-in lead system. They also have this other program that if the person scans and wants the free CMA, they have what they call a fast track system, that then they'll put the customer into another automated mailing campaign. Some really cool stuff to check out. Number 5, Xiaomi. You have 3 people that want to go out looking at houses, 3 different customers wanting to go look at houses on Saturday, and they all want to go at noon. You can't do it. Xiaomi is a system where you can hire real estate agents to show real estate for you. They can't steal your customer. They sign all kinds of contracts that they can't take the customer. They're just opening a door for you. But basically, you create a proposal that goes out to the real estate agents in the marketplace. I like Xiaomi for, number one, freeing up time, but also for agents, if you need extra money this time of year, you can become a Shawami showing agent and make some extra money by going out. Great for new agents because you get to go out and explore real estate and get paid per showing. Exposio app, great app if you are using iPhone photos, although I don't love iPhone photos, but if you must use iPhone photos for your listing, use Exposio at least so it makes it look more like a professional photo. 7, yellow letters complete. You want to send mass 200 people in your database. You want to send a handwritten note card for the beginning of the year to say thank you for a wonderful 2024. And I look forward to working with you in 2025. Handwritten, impressive. Yellow letters complete will do that for you. Markful.com. We have tons of LAER stuff there. Most importantly, I think that you should have name tags. I think it's a very small tweak you can make to your business that could get you one transaction a year simply because you have a name tag that lets people know that you're in real estate. And then number 9, we're already running late, but I wanted to have our friends from homes.com chat for just a couple of minutes about one of the things I love about homes.com is, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Zillow. I'm saying that super sarcastically. I'm not a fan at all of Zillow because the leads on Zillow typically don't go to the listing agent. Not the case with homes.com. So we have Ed Brennan from homes.com to share a little bit about what homes.com does for real estate agents.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stacy, and I appreciate you giving me some time today to discuss things and go over the platform briefly for you guys. I'm going to put my contact information in the chat here. If anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly, call, text, email, and I'll kind of try to keep it, relatively tight here. So feel free to put any questions in the chat as well as we go along here. But I'm going to go ahead and kick it off here. As Stacy mentioned, we are doing things very, very differently in this industry from the Zillows and the Realtors of the world. We keep your name, your face directly on your listings, right? We do 3 things really well. We are keeping, obviously that relationship between you and your seller there and encouraging that repeat business. But we, at the end of the day, really increase your online presence. So a huge marketing push for you, not trying to hide you on the internet, making sure that you're being seen, right? We are selling homes faster for you just with some of that exposure as well. And in the process, you guys are able to use some of these analytics to win more listings at the end of the day, just with what you're able to do for your sellers' homes. Obviously, they're very happy with the exposure they get. The more they get on their home, the quicker it sells, right? Some simple math there, but I'm going to jump into it here. Really, like Stacy said, this is your listing, your lead. We also have the other side, right? When you're working with a buyer, it's your buyer, your business. The listing agent stays 100% of the time on each listing. So you've worked hard to get that listing. We want to make sure that, also working hard to get that listing, the most about it. So when somebody reaches out to you, consumer, sometimes represented, sometimes unrepresented, able to really give them the information they need about that listing to assist your seller in moving that thing as fast as possible. And, at the end of the day, right, these are consumers on the internet. There might be some folks that are unrepresented that are looking for an agent too. So there's a lot of benefits to just having your name, your face prominently displayed on the listings and really keeping it there. So we're never selling your information, your leads, anybody that's reaching out to other agents on the internet. And that's what we're doing, very different from those other portals out there. So wanted to make that pretty clear from the jump. This is really where we stand to differ ourselves and pick up the industry a little bit and make it what it used to be. On the other side, right, our investment in marketing in our platform is second to none, right? This is a quick slide here, but 240 million between our brands at CoStar Group of apartments.com and homes.com. I know you guys do some rentals, as we kind of saw in the meeting there a little bit. So apartments.com partners with homes.com. All of your rentals go over there as well and get advertised in a nice advertising package if you do have rentals. And at the end of the day, this all really is important because we are at almost 150 million monthly visitors. We've gone up as high as 156 million. I think we've settled down right around 150, but we are approaching that #1 spot, right? Zillow has that market share. But at the end of the day, when folks are seeing that home on Zillow, the issue is that that lead is going to multiple different agents out there. Multiple folks are calling, a bad customer experience, a consumer experience at the end of the day. We want these folks that are working with you to really know how good of an agent you are and not from the jump have an issue with the whole process. So um, we have the second most traffic out there. We've doubled Realtor, tripled Redfin almost there, and are really shooting for that number one spot. And like I mentioned before, we really, our philosophy was to build a better website, drive that your listing, your lead side of things, and then bring a massive audience with our marketing campaign and the marketing dollars that we're pouring in, and more eyes, equal more opportunities there. So um, that piece is kind of how we got started and what we're doing here. The things that I really wanted to focus on, in this meeting specifically, are going to be our retargeting campaign. Um, that is a huge piece of what we do, right? Keeping folks top of mind, um, and keeping you top of mind as the agent, right? When somebody comes onto our platform and they're able to see one of your properties or even look in an area that you service, because we're not here to make you pay for zip codes, or make you pay for X amount of leads per month and say, hey, good luck, go out and call a bunch of them and see what happens. We all know that in the past that has led to some issues. So since you're not limited to a zip code, limited to a city or anything like that, every single place that you have a transaction and that you transact in the future, you're going to be seen as an agent that serves that area. So really connecting, you know, the agents that know the area with the consumers that know the area at the end of the day, or the consumers that want to know the area, I should say. But when somebody comes and looks in one of these areas, you're going to be retargeted to them, just like when we go shopping online and see a pair of shoes. I'm a shoe guy. So if I see a pair of shoes on a website on Nike or something like that, and I leave, Nike's going to show me that ad again when I go to ESPN. So a lot of the similar stuff that we're doing, in that sense, right? Keeping you in front of consumers there. Somebody's going to come see your property. They're going to go to a different site, right? And then your property, your face shows right at the top of the page there and follows that consumer around. Um, with that being said, right, keeping your name, your face directly on the listings there. And this is an intelligent process too. As we look at it, right, we figure out when the consumers are most likely to be looking at a property, looking, for, a home in a specific area or another area, and we target them at those times on the websites that they frequent the most. So we do all this and we have all these analytics on the back end here, but obviously one user might look at night, one user looks during the day. So we're not going to show the user that looks at night a bunch of properties or a bunch of advertisements for you as an agent, during the day if they're not looking. So um, at the end of the day here, right? Just wanting to make sure they're seeing your ads when they're most likely to interact with them, bringing them back to our site, bringing them back to you because you always stay on that page of the listing itself or on your agent profile page here. So looking at this, right, this is essentially how the whole process works. Somebody comes and they visit it at X time of day, 8 a.m. in the morning, right? User 456 here. Then they, read a bunch of different articles on parenting and they, browse for some listings again, go to a couple different websites there, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, and then they come back and they actually at the end of the day, it might not be from, day one where they're clicking and submitting that lead, but keeping you top of mind for 2-3 days with this consumer eventually leads to them reaching out. And that's what we're going for here, with this campaign. And that's a huge piece of what we do on the retargeting side of things. But really keeping you top of mind, in the other sense of it, right? The thing that I love on the back end with what we're seeing here is the amount of traffic that we have on our platform, right? 150 million monthly visitors. You have all of this at your disposal. You'll have all these analytics at your disposal, which is great. And we are seeing, tens and thousands of views on these properties, really in 5-10 days time. So above and beyond what the other marketplaces can do out there, and really getting them seen. And these are analytics that you can share with your sellers on a regular basis. If we need to have those conversations around potentially lowering some price points, if the home's been sitting on the market a little bit longer to move it off, when homes are priced right, they tend to move a little bit quicker, right? But it's not always easy to just get that price point right away with the consumer. So we're going to give you analytics on how many virtual tours have been taken of the house. We provide 3D virtual Matterport tours for all of our member agents as well. So for every single one of your listings, it's another thing that you can put in your listing toolkit. You can now provide your sellers with 3D virtual tours for every single one of their listings. or every single one of your listings when you put them on the market, just furthering that, experience that they're going to have with you as your agent. Again, keeping this repeat business is huge for you, but also giving them an idea of where their house sits based on how many days it's been on the market, where it's being seen as it gets retargeted on massive amounts of different websites out there. And then what other agents, from your perspective, are also seeing it. If we see somebody that's looked at the listing 16 times, 9 times out of 10, they may have a buyer that they're working with to get this thing, potentially off the market for you. So you can reach out and be proactive on that side of things. Um, so that is a couple of the pieces I did want to share. There is a good bit more that I can jump into here, but obviously want to respect some of that time. I think when we boil things down at the end of the day, what we're looking for is to drive more exposure to listings, really find these folks and keep you top of mind in every single way that we can. When somebody's coming to our site, right? We want them to be able to see you in the areas that you serve, see you on your listings, see you in the neighborhood content that we've curated that you specialize in, see you in school districts as well that you overlap with based on your experience. So the more we can do that, the more folks are going to be likely to reach out to you, the more opportunities and at bats you're going to have at the end of the day there. And then we have an extensive amount of networking and marketing that we do on the back end to make sure that, if somebody's looking for a home in a certain area, you're being seen as an agent that specializes there. So increasing your online brand presence, really keeping you everywhere that, the consumer's looking any which way they want to search. We want to make sure that they have the ability to find you. And that's where we really come into play. So obviously more that I can cover there, but
Ed, I
want
would
to
love to have you, I'll have Farah reach out to you to schedule you for February to do like a more of a deep dive into the homes.com and what it can offer. One thing I noticed when I started exploring, at a minimum, agents should go on and they can get a free membership just to start looking at the tools, correct?
Correct. You guys all have access to the Homes Pro account here. You have this dashboard. All you have to do when you go to the homes.com main page, there's a button at the top to register. Just put in your email address or find yourself in your MLS there, and then you'll be good to go.
Okay, secondly, the pricing is based on the amount of business the agent does. Is that correct?
Correct. Pricing. So we have a 6 or a 12-month term there, and pricing would be based on the average transaction volume over the past 3 years.
Okay, great. All right, we will plan. So uh Ed's information is in the chat, so if anybody wants to start pricing out homes.com, Ed can assist with that. But also we'll make sure in our February calendar that we have more of a deep dive so you can really explore all the pieces that the homes.com program offers. Some of our best agents, as you guys could see, Dan O'Connell was on today. He's one of our highest performing teams and he loves homes.com. So in our class that we do in February, maybe we'll feature a few agents and how they're using it in their business as well. So thank you, Ed.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
All right, so we have a few more things that we need to cover before we wrap up today's program. First of all, why don't I invite Craig, any sustainability updates? Well,
Sure, Stacey. I'll throw in the chat a couple of things upcoming in terms of educational opportunities for our agents in a second once we finish up. But I just want to highlight a couple of things. One, this intersection of real estate and sustainability that we're dealing with as a company. In the check request form, we are trying to track homes with high performance features or resilient building features like we see in Beach's MLS. So please make sure when you're doing your check request form, if you've got a home that fits into that category that has a high performant or resilient building feature, to check those boxes so we can track homes with those kinds of improvements in our sales numbers. But I'm also thinking transactionally right now, Stacey, a lot about, for instance, I'm looking at the images on my TV to the left of everything that's going on in California right now tonight and the impact of extreme weather events on our industry. Our homes, our commercial buildings can't move. Our industry is disproportionately impacted by these kinds of extreme weather events. And we're seeing evidence that home buyers are thinking more and more about climate risk as well. A good example of that is in Zillow. They use something called riskfactor.com. Realtors Property Resource uses climatecheck.com. These are two tools that home buyers can put information in about a specific address. And these tools use forward-thinking data so that they can look at the climate risk 15 and 30 years out. I'm not a big fan of those. I think there's better ways for our agents who are dealing with home buyers that are worried about climate risk in terms of how to address those issues. So at the end of the month, Stacy, once we set a time for the next LAER Sustainability Committee meeting, I am going to be addressing that issues about some of the ways that we can be the source of the source, give our buyers really good information if they have these kinds of concerns. And of course, it doesn't matter if you're a member of the LAER Sustainability Committee or not, you can jump onto the meeting. That will be posted on Inside the Lion's Den, but that's a big hot topic right now that's going through my mind and is going through the industry's mind as well, as you can tell, because portals are making this information available to buyers, and people are clicking on it. They're wondering what's going on, what this risk is going to look like moving forward. So that's what we're going to be addressing, Stacey.
All right, awesome stuff. Thank you, Craig. Couple things. First of all, thank you to Farah, who has been putting out this awesome print calendar. Hopefully everybody has seen this in their LAER offices, but it's a now monthly print calendar of all the upcoming training classes, etc. Anything you want to add to that, Farah?
No, just the fact that the front will always be on the front side. It's a double-sided 8.5 by 11. On the front side will always be incorporating checklists from Algorwin. So that's going to be an awesome asset to everyone. As well as some general resources that we have within LAER. You know, LAER is resource rich. And so some highlighted resources that we share on the calendar side, as well as this calendar is always sponsored by Coast to Coast. So thank you so much, Coast to Coast, as well.
All right, awesome stuff. We have lots of training coming up soon. We have Loop training January 9th. Calendar mastery, which many of our agents enjoyed, like around November, December was the last one, coming up on the 23rd. And fellow, unblocking the basics. So in November, we announced that we are going to give agents who have the LAER, the tech bundle, a second option for a CRM. If instead of the monthly newsletter that goes out through Isaac, you wanted to use Fellow, which goes, it kind of mines your own database for listing leads, that you'll be able to switch. Right now, you can utilize both of them. If you're a part of the $39 per month tech bundle, we have you signed up for both. But Ashley's gonna be doing some training on this on January 28th so that you can begin to dig in and decide which resource is best for your CRM. I already mentioned our Lancaster, Mass, our little barn that is now part of our LAER portfolio. So our newest location, 2086 Main Street. And with that, we have some announcements for Florida. So I'll let you take that, Farah.
Wonderful. Hi, everyone. Happy January. I hope you're all staying nice and toasty. I'll go through it super quick. Just a little review. We had a wonderful, wonderful LAER holiday party. Stacy was able to come on down to Florida, and we had a great, great time. It was an awesome time, and can't wait to do it again next year. And of course, as you all know, we are now CTC Closings. That is our title partner here within LAER everywhere, especially here in Florida as well. So we have the same people. It's going to be Alma and Jasmine, same faces, new brand, great stuff. And with that, as we have now changed to coast here in Florida, we will be having a grand opening for this location. This is a save the date. Please just make sure you save the date for Thursday, February 20th for Coast to Coast Wellington, Florida. And when you join us and register and attend, you're entered into a raffle to win a free headshot session. So this is very, very cool. Of course, as always, we would love for you, if you are a LAER agent in any state and you do business here in Florida, please take a moment and join our Florida regional group on Facebook. And I'll pass it on to Nicole.
Hello, well, I wonder if I can be quicker than everybody else. I am here to say hello, and we have something exciting to announce also. We are going to start doing an email that's called agentsuccess@ctcclosings.com, which will mirror what you guys use as your happy agent. So we know sometimes if you want to try to get a hold of us, or if you're working really late, or you're at an event and somebody has a question, just like Happy Agent, Agent Success is monitored 24/7. So we will be available to answer any questions, mobile closing requests, real estate, pulling any deeds. And this is going to be available in every state that we are in. Mass, New Hampshire, Maine, Florida. So if you have any questions and you're not getting a quick response, just agentsuccess@ctcclosings.com.
All right, awesome stuff. Oh, by the way, we also have at CTC Closings, if you guys need an awesome guide for your open house, you can go to ctcclosings.com/a locals guide, and the CTC team will make a nice little 2-page brochure about the market. And with that, we are already way over time, so I want to wish you guys a wonderful start to 2025. Please engage in some of the awesome classes. We've tried to increase our game as far as the training content that is going out, which is one of the reasons we're now putting everything out into that printed calendar. So please join us in some of the awesome training that is coming up online. So with that, Happy New Year, everyone, and we will see you in February.